Hi guys, welcome to the first Girl Unfiltered live virtual coffee chat. I am so excited to support you guys through these really uncertain times. Like, we're going through a really unexpected time in life, and so I called up some of my incredible powerhouse female entrepreneur sisters. Hi everyone joining us. I'm so excited to chat with you. I have an amazing guest coming on today. She is the author of Emotional Grit, and we're going to talk about mental fitness during this time. I want to wave at all of you, but I'm not as technically savvy. So I know Neeta's on right now. I'm going to see in a moment. She'll probably ask to join live. But she has an absolutely beautiful family, one of the most beautiful families I know, and the cutest 1-year-old. I think he's 1 now. And we're also going to talk about parenting during this time, working from home, how to support yourself during the roller coaster of emotions. Let me go now. And this is going to be a safe space, you guys, for all of you to feel supported, to have an amazing girl chat. Hi, Neeta. Hi.
Hey, love. How are you?
I'm really good, actually, considering the craziness that's happening right now. How are you?
It is, wow, it's bananas, right? It is,
Right.
like, this is the world that we are living in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And let's go straight to it. Like, I know that you're juggling having Ari at home right now. Is he going to make an appearance? Is he okay?
Oh my
right
God.
now?
Well, it's funny if I show you what he's doing right now, because Ajit also has a call right now. So, and our nanny is not coming today. So I put on Zumba, and literally he's just like in awe seeing the girls. So it's funny. He's just glued.
Oh, that's so cute.
We don't know if he's actually going to be doing any of the steps, but like he's just like staring. So it's really funny.
Yeah. It's a really weird time. My husband's on a conference call right now as well, and he's like in another part of the house, and it's very weird getting used to working from home with your partner, and
Right?
on top of that you have a kid. So how are you guys dealing with that? Because I think so many people are in the same boat, and daycare is canceled, school is canceled, no one's coming into your home. How have you guys found that, and do you have any tips that you would share?
Yeah, I mean, it's bananas. And I think that, at least Ari's he's a year and a half right now. So for us, it's been tag teaming, and thinking of, like, he just ate dirt before I was getting on the call with you, and because I was thinking I could leave him outside. We have a little balcony. You've been over our house, so like we have a little balcony, and I was just gonna keep him out there so he can play while we do our little jam session today, and he's just started eating the dirt from the plant. I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's just, he's an explorer. This is the age, we're trying to see, what he can handle. Like right now, yesterday he was watching very appropriately Inside Out. So I don't know if you've seen that movie.
Yes. Adults should watch that movie too. It's actually
So
probably
good.
perfect for now. Yeah.
For now, it's great. If you guys are struggling with like being able to release emotions and just the heaviness of everything that's happening around the world, and it seems like the statistics aren't going to get any better. I mean, this is the honest truth, anytime soon. I mean, you've seen back home, like in the UK, it's just everywhere. And we have clients in all of those parts of the world, so it's been crazy. But being able to watch a movie like Inside Out and to really understand, because we talk about this a lot, and I mean, you and I have had many conversations regarding emotional health and being able to understand emotions. But it's such a good video, and he sat through the whole thing. And it's about this, for those of you who don't know about the movie, it's about this basically this little girl who has these emotions, and there's joy and sadness and anger, and I think there's goofy as well. So like all of these emotions, but how they tie into our life, and we can't have joy without sadness. And so that's the whole point of the movie, is like being able to understand how Joy just wanted to be Joy. Like she wanted to be happy all the time, but didn't give herself the space to really understand that without sadness, her partner, they couldn't really tango. And so right now, for those of you who are experiencing sadness, experiencing grief, experiencing like helplessness and kind of lack of hope right now, like let's lean into that, and we've been kind of sharing with our audience as well, like how do you lean into those tough emotions, especially when, I mean, we can make fun of it all day long. Like we're probably about, I don't know about you, but like there are days where I'm like, Ajit, go into the other side of the house.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My husband and I like needed time out from each other. So we basically put each other in time out. Honestly, I think he was a little sick of my voice. Like, we've been together. We haven't had any contact with other people for, I don't know, like over 10, 4, I don't know, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like,
crazy.
Yeah.
Like we're having like house parties basically, but on a house party app, right?
Yeah, but I think that communication in this time is so important. And like we'll circle back to the emotions because I know we're going to talk about like emotional grit through this time, but that also leans into communication, not only with your partner but with yourself. Like I've gone through the roller coaster of emotions. Like the majority of the time, thank God for my tools and my mindset work, I am like positive, seeing the glass is way half full. Like I feel good, but then I have a down moment and I just need to cry and I need to communicate that with myself. Like, you know what? I'm going to feel it right now. Or I need to say to my partner, you know what? I really need some space. I need to not talk to you or see you for like a good couple hours. And I'll go binge watch like a girl movie or something like that, We need to be able to communicate because we are stuck in the house right now. So, yeah.
I mean, it's so true. And like, this is the time where couples are going to be tested. I've had a lot of colleagues and friends who are like, oh my gosh, if we get through this will be the thing that either makes or breaks our relationships, because either people haven't really had the tools in order to emotionally communicate, like, wow, I'm feeling really sad right now and this sucks. Like, being able to, and even for us, I think we were just on a team call before we had this, and even on the team call, I just had to say, you guys, like, I felt so just overwhelmed as of last week because we're supporting so many of our groups, and some of our, clients whose businesses dried up in a day, like dentists are not able to work, right? That was my former profession, but like they're not able to work because they're, the vapors and things are going to be like spreading, could be spreading the virus. So they were one of the first businesses mandatory close. And then what's happening with all their workers and, the layoffs there. And I mean, obviously your husband's an actor. So all of the studios are shut in LA.
Yeah, he's gone through that. Yeah. So how would you, let's talk about emotional grit. First of all, like we didn't even introduce like how badass you are. Like you run multiple companies. Like her and her husband are like power couple goals, you guys. And if you ever go, we had a dinner party at their house and it's like the most connected conversation because they support everyone just being open and vulnerable. I was like, can all dinner parties be like this, please? And they have a little 1-year-old. So they're juggling a lot. So can you share a bit about what you do? And let's lean into that emotional grit and how we ride the emotional roller coaster, especially as you pointed out, for some people who aren't maybe used to expressing their emotions or acknowledging the feelings that they're having.
So I, quite a few years ago, and this is kind of inspired by my life story. I grew up really fast. I went through a lot of times of crisis as that we're going through right now. I just did that with my family. And so from the age of 10, when my mom first got sick, until I was about 19, that was like the heaviness of experiencing a lot of loss, a lot of uncertainty. I watched both of my parents really succumb to their diseases. They both died of cancer. And so from 10 years old, watching my mom go through chemotherapy and not knowing what's happening, and she actually passed away when I was 16. So for those 6 years being in and out of hospital settings, seeing her in the ICU, seeing her go through a coma, waking up, you know, having her tell us about her near-death experience, and then actually then passing. And then a year later, you know, just it was just a lot of tough trauma. But to have like that every morning feeling of like, am I going to lose somebody else today? Am I going to, is somebody going to die today? That kind of was the dialogue that kept playing in my life for literally those 9 years. And so I ended up being an orphan at 19. I had to raise my youngest brother after losing my mom, my dad, and my brother. And I know we only have a certain amount of time to kind of like talk about this.
Yeah,
But I don't really want to, because it was not a light time by any means.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like all of that kind of helped prepare for what we're going through now and how we're able to support so many people, because we run quite a few different businesses on the, you know, we support coaches on the, my husband runs the company called EverCoach, which is with Mind Valley. And then we actually support leaders and entrepreneurs and small businesses and professionals that really want to scale in a bigger impact. At Global Grid Institute. We've written about 4 books. You could probably see them here.
Yeah.
And I think that one's the one you guys all kind of want to talk about, because that's been a really big conversation for a lot of people. You know, I think that we're just not given those tools in school. And
no, oh my gosh. I wish.
Right? Like, instead of us needing to like memorize math problems and things like that, where now we have calculators, and I know every Indian person's gonna like, they're gonna send hate. They're gonna be like, what are you talking about? We need math. We need math. But I think we need the tools to actually speak about emotions and how we're feeling at this time. You know, it's interesting, like, so, you know, I'm half Indian, half Filipino, and traditionally, even in our cultures, it's like, study hard. What do you mean you're feeling down? Like, you know, go and read that book, or go meditate, which meditation is definitely an amazing tool, and prayer and gratitude. Like, those have been some of the big tools in what I kind of share inside of the book, Emotional Grit. One of the big things that I tend to teach is this concept called 4 Moss, of how do you actually create your emotional toolbox or toolkit with you, so that you can kind of go through, and I'm sure you have some of the tools as well, but go through some of these and experiencing it with your family. Because even if you have, you know, small kids at home, or even maybe your spouse is at home, but he's kind of going through a rough time, it might look like he might be getting angry with you, or snippety with you, because he just doesn't have that dialogue to say, you know,
or toolbox.
He doesn't have that toolkit. He's never been taught that, so he can't ever say like, I feel really shitty right now. I feel scared. You know, we did a poll last week, or it was maybe 2 weeks ago. One of my team members, we did a poll, and we asked, how many of you are actually, you know, scared right now? And literally it was like, I think 60% said that they were scared, because I mean, and that's like one way of giving people permission to say, yeah, this is scary. We have no idea. And at that point, some of our leaders kind of in the world like didn't really know what to expect, and some still don't know what to expect. And so that's kind of where we have to take the lead and say, you know what? This is serious. We've got to stay home. We've got to practice social distancing, and we have to figure out a way to communicate what this time means, and to break it down into small pieces so that we can kind of understand. So the first thing I kind of talk about is we have to accept that this is the reality right now.
Yeah, acceptance. Yeah, that's really key. Yeah, instead of fighting it or pushing against it, or we create more energy, negative energy, when we don't accept. And actually, that's one of the things and the tools that I use, which is EFT. It's acceptance.
Yeah. Oh, I love EFT. Yeah. And you know, accepting the reality and knowing that, you know, and this is what the deaths of my childhood kind of taught me, is that we're all impermanent, and every situation is impermanent, meaning that we will all get through this. And, you know, everyone's going to be watching later, but you know, we will all get through this. This is a time where we will all rise, and we will all rise together strongly. But what can we do right now? And so one of the big things about, you know, understanding our emotions is, where do we actually feel it? Some of us feel it really in our gut. Some of us feel it because we have a headache. Some of us feel it where, you know, in our body there's tension. A lot of us, if we're sitting at home for the rest, you know, these last 2 weeks, some of us 3 weeks, we're feeling it in our shoulders because we're like, we're tense, you know, and we're kind of like sitting on our couches and we're going like this, you know, but
we're holding our breath, or we're not breathing deeply, and then
and you have that, like, is it like the gym rat look where you're like up and out in the chest and you're kind of like, hey guys, what's up?
The meathead look,
the meathead look. You're by West Hollywood, you know what I'm talking about. So, but that's true. So what if we were able to just breathe, and not from here, shallow breathing, but like invite the breath into our gut and into our core, where we're actually being able to, you know, activate our parasympathetic system, which means that it's our rest and digest system, where we are actually able to activate parts of our brain where we can go, okay, that's dopamine. I can either sit on Instagram, which is great, and like scroll and get that dopamine, or I can channel my feelings right now and my emotions and do something else with it, like maybe master myself or grow myself in a way. And you know, GRIT actually stands for an acronym that I use throughout the book, and it's really been helpful for so many people, because I call it grit to greatness, which means that, you know, when you're able to grow or grow yourself, when you're able to activate the, you know, the dopamine in our bodies, but in a natural way, when we're reading a book, when we are trying to be curious about something, like, you know, building our side hustle, or getting into the passions, or maybe sharpening our skills that we might have not been able to, we're actually activating a different part of our brain, which allows us to, R in GRIT is reveal. So reveal a new level of ourselves, reveal a new aspect of ourselves that may have been dormant, or that maybe we haven't really known at all in ourselves. And that really gives us the awareness to, then I stands for innovate. So how are you innovating in your life? Like, maybe for some of you, this is a time to really slow down, because we're constantly like, go, 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 go. And even for ourselves, like, I mean, Helena, you know this, like, we travel a lot. Like last year, baby, we were on the road. We were in Indonesia. We were in Bali.
You spent more time abroad than you did in LA with a baby.
I know. I would not do that again. If we have another one, I would definitely not do that again. I mean, that was so crazy.
Yeah.
But how can you innovate now that maybe your perspective is changing? And, you know, that's basically when you're revealing a next part of yourself that has been dormant. So maybe this is a new situation, a new experience for you, a new, you know, way of living, right? We're doing this virtual chat now. Like, this is brand new. What is that innovation that comes as a result? How are you shifting? How are you kind of saying, you know what, this downtime, this part of slowing down is actually really good for me, for my soul, for my creativity. It's really unlocking a lot of things, and maybe it's allowing me to release things that have been, you know, I've been kind of meatheading all over the place. And just kind of like relaxing into things, and then getting into a place of transformation. So, which is T. So grow, reveal, innovate, and transform, which is transformation is putting everything all together. Like, how are you actually shifting from who you were before all of this to then where are we when we have to integrate, when we actually can see the sunny days again, when we can actually go back to whatever that normalcy looked like, but being able to appreciate this time of like reflection, and really, you know, allowing ourselves to, you know, go inward and to have that space to be able to, because I think that, isn't it so crazy, like the entire world is on pause right now. I mean, it's just unprecedented. And for like, I know I've never seen this ever before, but then we're so connected because now we have our devices, Can you imagine if we didn't have devices? Like,
then it would be really slowing down. But it's really interesting because I feel like we, certainly in the Western world, are addicted to doing. We're a fast-paced society. And if you're not doing, now this is my story, I would feel guilt because I should always be doing. So in the moments of stillness or in the empty space in my calendar, because I'm so used to being busy and doing and achieving and being Little Miss Perfect, you know, I'm always working on that.
Yeah.
It was actually, it brought up a lot of emotions in the first week of slowing down.
Yeah.
And I'm sharing this because I'm sure so many of you relate who also are in the Trisha's saying same.
So true.
I was actually texting a group chat with my friends and I was like, I felt anxiety shifting in my body. I felt these emotions come up and I realized, oh my gosh, I'm addicted to doing. And I felt like the world was forcing me to sit in my chair and slow down. And I was like, I don't want to because it was scary, because it causes you to release addictions, release the things that we're so automated in doing, to slow down and do the reveal stage and the innovative stage. But so between those stages, I believe there's going to be fear and there's going to be uncomfortable feelings. Like I am loving slowing down, but I had to acknowledge that there was fear around doing that.
Yeah.
Which is the, I think, acceptance part that we were talking about.
Totally.
Release that addiction. And I don't think the world can ever really truly be the same because all of us are doing that right now. All of us are experiencing that. And I think for some of us empaths as well, we're probably also feeling the feelings of the entire world, the collective energy as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what would you say to somebody who is scared to do the reveal, to do that stage because they haven't actually had the opportunity to sit still with themselves?
Ooh, it's so good. I mean, it's so powerful that you bring that up because, I mean, you and I both know, being on the other side of that, of like the work that it took to just peel away the layers, because that means that we have to really look truly within ourselves and say, what does that actually mean that you're achieving and doing? And what doesn't it mean? Or what does it really mean when you're not doing those things? Does it mean that you're a failure? You know, does it mean that you're not good enough?
Yeah.
Does it mean that you're not worthy, right? Does it mean that, you know, you are incapable or incompetent if you just take a moment to stop? And these are the, you know, the basic desires of us as human beings. If we go back into human psychology, and what I, you know, tend to talk about a lot is the bare bones basics is we want to be accepted, we want to be loved, we want to be appreciated, we want to be desired. And so these are all of the things that, you know, humans actually want. And the things that we don't want are the non-acceptance or the unworthiness or the fact that I'm not enough if I don't do X, Y, and Z. But how can we be okay with who we are at our core and still love ourselves in the midst of like, and giving, and really that self-compassion, because that's the key really here is the exercise of self-compassion, of when we can go inward and say, this is a moment that I'm going to take to slow down, because the universe is really forcing pretty much all of us to do exactly that. So I can still kind of try to distract by watching every single thing on Netflix. I think I read a tweet the other day where they're like, you know, I think I'm done with this quarantine because I finished Netflix.
I finished Netflix. I saw that yesterday. Yeah. Like, I finished Netflix.
Like, what else? But I mean, if you can give yourself the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm not going to do anything, and that is absolutely okay, and really sit with those feelings. Like, you know, you and I kind of experienced the does this really say that you are unworthy if you're not achieving, if you're not trying to write that next book, or if you're not trying to figure out your content strategy for next month or next week, to just give yourself a moment to chill. And you know, we're having this incredible experience with our son, because every day, in every moment, in every experience, he's constantly challenging us to just say, all right, let's play. Let's
Yeah.
play. If we don't pay attention, if we're not present with him, if we're trying to do on our phones, he'll start screaming, which he knows now this is a way where he'll get attention, but it's kind of bringing us to our core and center of like, oh yeah, we do everything on our devices. And he's at a year and a half, this wise soul of like saying, yep, no mom, no dad, like,
Yeah.
pay attention to me and let's play.
Yeah.
And he's constantly like, you know, doing this, like he's figured out how to do hide and go seek. So he's like peeking out and doing like that. So we have this little teacher as a mini human saying, let's play more and let's
be present. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because the entire world has been stripped back, I feel, in terms of, and we're really talking to people who are like being forced to stay at home. Like, God bless all of the amazing people that are still working and are our doctors and our nurses. They're doing an incredible job. We're talking about the people that have actually been forced to slow down. And in this moment, in this collective time, nobody cares what car you drive.
Nope.
Nobody cares really like about the material things. Nobody's talking about that. We're not even using those material things. We're not driving those cars. We're not going to work. It's not about what, you know, whether you make this amount of money at this position, at this job or not, because we're all experiencing the same thing. It's not about what race you are. It's not about what religion you are. It's not about what political party you support. It is, we're all in this together. And so we're being forced to come back to the root and the core of who we are and what actually matters. And I would love to give permission to anybody watching this to slow down, because you have been given the gift of slowing down, especially in the discomfort of slowing down. And if you could just take this opportunity and seize it to lean into slowing down, whether that's journaling more every day, I mean, meditating for longer, finding tools that inspire you, even being present gardening or whatever it is for you, like you have that gift. Because I know so many people who go, God, I really wish I could just take a week off work. Or I really wish that I could just spend the day in bed. Or, you know, all of these things that we say out loud, and you've been given permission to actually do these things. And there will come a time where we emerge from this. Use this time wisely to go within and find your core values, because at the root of who you are, you have always been worthy. You have always been good enough. And because we live in a very fast-paced society, we're just adding these walls and these layers that tell us that we have to hit this button to feel that. We have to then do this to feel that. And it's not true. All of that is kind of being melted away right now and taken away from us. So I think that's just such a gift in what we're experiencing right now.
It is so true. And I mean, you know, the beauty of being able to just, whether you're at home single or you have family members that maybe they're abroad or they're in different parts of the, you know, wherever they are, but being able to connect in a different way, and ask questions maybe about their childhood, or get to know, it's kind of like that extended holiday time that we had, but now that, I mean, it's kind of forcing us to really ask better questions and different questions, and really to connect with, you know, the things that matter the most, like, you know, like our families and our friends and our loved ones, and to really cherish this time that's so juicy that we're going to forget about, like in the next, you know, few months. But how do we kind of hold those and savor some of the memories that are going to be as this guiding light that we're going to kind of pass through together, and open ourselves up to something that's so unique and that's so powerful as we emerge from this in a few weeks.
And you said, like, we're asking juicier questions, and I completely agree with that. Like, I'm reaching out to way more people and asking how they are than I normally would. But I'm going to put you on the spot right now, because this is kind of how I want to end our first virtual coffee chat is, like, what are some of the questions that you would love people to ask themselves right now?
Oh, this is so good. So good. So the first one is, and this is something that I share with our community a lot, but who are you?
Ooh.
Yeah. Who are you? And not
Ooh.
your job
Yeah.
title. Who are
Yeah.
you? And so this can
I'm
be
writing this down.
what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
This can be, how you like. Are you a mom, a mother, a father, a lover, a giver, a nurturer? Like, who are you at your core? And then I would ask, what 6 words would define where you are right now? So and let me just rephrase that. What 6 words, so it could be words, would define where or how your life has led you to this point right now?
Okay. Could you give some examples of maybe in your own life?
So for myself, it's really a journey kind of question. So if you spend some time thinking about that, it's a journey question. So for me, I would have to say resilience, grit, triumph, journey, growth, and love.
Yes.
What about you, Helena?
Oh my gosh, to where I am right now. Oh my gosh. Transformation, love, acceptance, joy, adventure, courage.
Oh, I love that word.
Those are just the ones that came to my, like, being on the spot, the first one.
That's so good. And if you guys are going to be doing this too, definitely tag us when you post it, because these are some great questions that you guys can also share within your own communities as we go deeper. And
share some of your words right now if you're live. Like, what first comes to mind for you?
The first word, yes. And I think the third question would be, what are you most grateful for being in this experience now?
Yeah.
As
like
this
now,
like
right
now.
now.
Now that you're on either week 2 of quarantine or self-isolation, week 1, week 3, like, what has that process? And if you are on the front lines and watching this on a coffee break or something like that, and you're in a hospital and just need some uplifting, inspirational, motivational time, what is this tiny little break given you now? And hopefully, we're adding to that conversation for you guys. Determination. Oh yeah,
I love that. Determination.
Awesome. Love that.
And what are you most grateful for right now? What is your gift and your blessing in this time? Because I know that it's probably stretching you. You're a leader for other leaders. Yeah. And that's a lot of responsibility for you right now. So I feel that. What are you grateful for? What's a blessing for you in this?
Yeah, I think that honestly, I've been really grateful that we can connect with so many of our communities and so many of our family members, even though we're all kind of isolated at home. I think we take that for granted, and even when I check in with my family members here and there, it's like sometimes I'm not fully present because you're trying to cook and you're trying to change a diaper and you're trying to be there and do all of it at once. And I know some people may not like that, but just being able to be present with them and just kind of hold space, and that's kind of what we share, but like holding space for anything to come up. So that being grateful that we can actually do virtual date nights, do virtual family nights. And yesterday we were playing, a house party game with some of our cousins who we only do this around the holidays, like around 1 month in the year is December. And we were all just we just took 20 minutes and we played one of the draw game on house party. And
I don't even know what this app is. I'm like nodding.
Yeah. Oh, you have? Yeah. We'll have to house party, but look it up. Some of you probably on it. But it's kind of like a Zoom where you can actually play games with family members. So it's that. And I think the other gift is, because we travel so much, the opportunity to just be able to stay at home and to do things like I'm journaling more. I've read you know, some of our philosophical books like Osho. I've been looking at, you know, even some Eckhart Tolle, and I haven't looked at those books in so long. You know, you just have it on your shelf and they're collecting dust. Yeah. And it's like being able to kind of do that. And my husband and I, we love to dance. So we've been doing our own little Indian Bhangra dance parties in the house because now we have our son.
Yes.
So being able to be silly, but like, you know, and just have some fun. I think somebody just said it, right? Get it? So
yes,
yeah. So like to have some fun during this time as well.
Yes, I love that. And the name of the app is House. Is that correct?
House Party. House
Party. Okay. Yeah. Amazing. I know that Ari, her son, is like off watching a Zumba video right now, so I'm gonna let her get back to her son. But thank you so much for sharing that. If there's one like last message that you would love to share to anyone watching this in this time of emotional resilience and mental fitness, what would that be?
Yeah, I would say, you know what, you guys, like, we are all in this together.
Yes.
What is it? Hashtag alone together. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the things that, that, you know, we do all the time, but I wear it on my wrist, is to serve love to either yourself that needs it right now, or serve love to those that might not be as fortunate as you, being able to stay at home and, you know, care for our children and our friends, and to kind of, you know, spread that love, whether it's here on a platform because you have a voice, or to be able to do that with your neighbors, because maybe some of them are too prone to, you know, go out and get groceries, and maybe you can do something where you can pass it forward to somebody else. So serve love, you guys.
Yes, amazing. Thank you so much, Neeta. I can't wait to see you and hug you in person in a non-contagious way in the future.
All right, give your hubs some love. I will. Later.
I will. Bye. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us live. And we're going to be going live every day this week, okay, at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bye, loves. Thank you so much for joining us. Before I leave, actually, thank you, Neeta, for joining us. What is your biggest takeaway from today? Like, what is one thing that you want to go away and implement today for yourself, whether that is the gift of slowing down, or maybe gratitude really came up for you today? What is one thing, you guys listening, what is your biggest takeaway from today? Please share that with me, or DM me after this and let me know what your biggest takeaway was. We're going to be doing live virtual coffee chats every single day this week, and this, if you guys are enjoying this, I might carry this on next week, because I don't know, we're in quarantine until April 30th, like minimum, so I might just keep doing these, who knows. Yes, Esther, we are all in this together. Thank you everyone for joining us. I just want to remind you that, like, yeah, like, I have a platform, Neeta has a platform, and we're using that to spread our message and make people feel connected and join together. But you don't have to have a platform to be able to use your voice. Each and every one of you has a voice, and each and every one of us can make a difference during this time, whether it's to one or two people or to a collective group of people. We all have that responsibility right now, actually, to support the collective energy together, and support people and help raise the vibrations to one of positivity and gratitude when a lot of people are feeling fear. So I'm sending you guys lots of love. I have to go teach an online masterclass now. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see all of you tomorrow for another live virtual coffee chat. Mwah!